Okay. So why I want to say it's for you is because think of it this way, annotated bib is a pain in the butt. I'm not going to lie. Okay. But it has a usefulness in the idea going back to saying for you. In your education right now, you do just little bits. You don't do big things. Okay.
Right.
Big thing would be you're writing 2 to 3 page papers. Those are minuscule. Okay. My master's thesis was 120 pages. My doctorate was about 120 pages. I had about 40 to 50 citations of my master's thesis. I had 180 in my dissertation. Okay. So my dissertation took 8 years because they kept changing the topic. A lot of my research got to stay. But the key is here, it's kind of like on one end, you're doing an assignment. On the back end, you're learning to build a library. Okay. So the idea here is that like in my San Diego classes, they could take an article like I'm going to show you in a few minutes, and in 20 minutes write a 2-page paper. Okay. Going over everything. The key is to find out what you really need. And everyone is different. So there are different kinds of papers, such as a historical paper or a theoretical paper, and I think yours was a theoretical paper.
Yeah, mine's theoretical.
And I'm going to tell you that you made it so hard on yourself. The problem is you made it real hard on yourself because there's so much information in a theoretical paper rather than looking for a study. Okay. Then you have a study. Can be quantitative or qualitative, numbers or interviews or a case study. But as you go through the library, you're not going to find very many case studies in the area you're working on. You're going to find a few. Most people are they're going to do it quantitative or qualitative because case studies are much harder to do. Okay. Real good in psychology, but in our field, not as much. Okay. So the idea here is it's for you. What is it for? So as you're going through your articles and let's say you're getting ready to work on a big paper, and let's say even in an 8-week cycle, when you do that very first annotated bib, by the time you get to the last one, you're not going to remember what was on the first one.
Right. And this way I should have.
When you're done looking at it, you should be able to put it away for 5 minutes, come back and say, I will understand this in 6 months. Or I'm going to understand this. I'm going to put it in my file on my computer. And if I need it, I can go back and I can get it. And then I'm going to know, okay, this is what I want for this one. Then I pull the article and I may pull from some other stuff. So when you're writing it, you're really looking at something that's right to the point. You're not going to mess around. You're not going to spend a ton of time on it. It's one of the reasons why teachers give annotated bibs, because if they did anything else, it might be each one could be a 3-page paper. More reading for the professor. So on one end, you're cheating a little bit as a professor. On one end, you're teaching them, welcome to the party. You're just getting enough information to be dangerous. Okay. So in that respect, part of the problem is you didn't go to the library. Am I correct?
Right. Yeah.
Do you understand now how to go to the library? Or do you want me to walk you through it?
Is there the library, like the actual library, or the library online?
Online library.
Ooh, yeah.
Do you know how to use it?
No, I don't know how to use it.
You paid for it. You already paid for it.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. You should see the screen now.
Yep. Oh, perfect. It's a Mac. Okay.
Okay, so I need to go here. And then I'm going here, and I'm going to go. And then there's the library is right at the top of the page. So this library is not easy to get into, but once you kind of get it down, it's easy. Once you're on this page, it looks just like this. You go to databases. And then you'll see an alphabetized list. Okay. Now, Psych Info is really good, and Sport Discus. You're going to get a lot of your information. You're going to find a lot of it in Sport Discus. And basically go down, slide down. Okay. And then we get to S. Where's S? There it is. You'll see it right here. Now it'll bring up a search engine on my Fullerton and my San Diego. It's really cool. It's on the front page. Just put something in there and go. Now, in this box right here, I can type in anything. Yeah. Okay. Of course, I'm going to stay within the sport realm, or it doesn't really matter. If it's not there, it's going to tell you. Okay. So I already have something saved. Okay. Because it's the article that I'm going to show you in a little bit. But if I go here and I search, it's going to come up. Now, if I went with just like spectators or whatever, start with a big word and then work your way down. So now here's the article, and I click on it. Now it brings up this one, and this has a lot of information on it. Okay. Over here is where I can get the full PDF text. Over here are subject terms, which you can then click on, and they'll say what topic are you what's your topic that you're really working on?
Sports spectators in the games, actually researching fan behavior. This
is you?
Yeah, this is me. This is
okay. Literally, it's you. Okay. When you get here, the subject terms, if you find one that says women's soccer fans, could say soccer fans. It could be a list of things that you can just start to either write them down and come back to them later. But it's keywords. Okay. Over here on the side, you have this thing called cite, and it's never right, but it's pretty close. So there's your APA. So you can highlight and do it. But like on most of these, only the first letter here, this E, should be capitalized, like the W, the S, and the G, and the A, and the L. All of those are lowercase, but everything's done for you. All you have to do is copy and paste it. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, that's that. The other one I will tell you is after the semester's over, look for a bibliography software called Mendeley. Mendeley, Mendeley. Okay? And it's a free one. And then go to YouTube and watch the videos on it. Okay? It will take everything from here and put it right in there, and all you have to do is press a button and your bibliography comes out.
Oh.
You still have to check it for accuracy. But the citation managers are great. EndNote, RefWorks, those cost more money. Mendeley's free. And you could take a whole page of this one over here, the page before, let's say there was 20 of them on there. You could highlight them all. It'll take the whole page and stuff them in there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it will also take the article with it if it's available. So it's pretty dynamic. It takes it to the next level. Then you can sort them by name and by, okay, all these are spectators and all of this here. And what it does is it helps your research to move forward. Okay. So basically it's here. I got my citation. Okay. Oops, I didn't want to go there. Oh, I've already got it up. So here's the article. So what I want to show you is that, do you understand what you're really looking for in the article?
Not too much. I know that
it's a lot of reading.
Yeah.
So I'll give you the best way of doing this. First thing you want to do is let me go back to that other page. Is that it? Okay. Is it available? Okay. See the abstract here? Okay. If I go back a page to this one, right here is the abstract.
Right.
So this may be something you want. So let me take it back one more step. Quantity versus quality. When you're mining for articles, you just mine. You just go in and you just start digging. Grab as many as you can. Okay, don't try to analyze each one of them. It's as easy to delete something than it is to have to keep going back. Okay, so if you use Mendeley and get Mendeley down pat, then you already know that you're going to have a citation list started, done. Okay. If not, as long as you're copying and paste the citation into a folder, you can do it that way too. And just make a list. That's the way I used to do it before I knew about EndNote and all the rest of them. Every time I hit an article, I put the citation in there, because that way if I use something, and it's 10 minutes before the paper's due, then I can what? Go to my list and say, there it is. I copy and paste it. I neaten it up, and boom, I'm done.
Yeah.
Okay. More information that you're taking at the beginning, the less disaster you have later on.
Okay.
Because then you got to take it out. You don't have to write citation. Oh, it's just a mess. Okay. So taking it from there. So you want to compile as much information, the citation, the name, and then the article. So now I go back to here and I grab the article again. Okay. You have lots of things over here. You can print out this page. This little thing prints out the page. You can email it to yourself. You can save it. I don't do that one. Cite it and export it if you have one EndNote and that. And then over here, now this one right here probably would cost on the internet. It probably cost about $30, and that's what a lot of them are going. I can't get any articles because I got to get paid. Are you in the library? You're paying for this already as part of your fee that you're paying. Okay. Now, when you get to this portion of it, the first thing you want to do is you want to skim. See where it says introduction?
Yeah.
You want to skim the introduction, which is a little weird on this one, till you get to methods right here. See where it says method? Okay. This is like your introduction. This is all the background information and stuff like you see, like game attractors and this. So you want to skim it. Okay. That's all you want to do. Just that portion of it. Because that's your backbone, your meat and potatoes of every article. Okay. Of a study like this. So this is where you're going to find definitions. You're going to find all the important things that you're going to need for the background of your study. Okay. Then when you get to the methods, okay, I'm sorry. Let me go back up. And this is a really good one. For example, the purpose of the study is right here.
Yeah.
That should be in your whatchamacallit, in your bibliography. The purpose of study. You can put the whole thing in there. You can, paraphrase it if you can. But the purpose of the study is real important, because when you go back and read it, you're going to know exactly what it's for.
Why they did the same, which is
why they actually did it. Just like I'm trying to teach you why you do a bibliography, because if you understand the why, then the rest is easy, which is not really, if you understand, this is my first class, the two classes I have, these are my first two at Concordia. So I just got this class, so I've now figured everything out that I need to get everybody. As you can see, there's a whole bunch of announcements starting to roll out. Okay, so then comes the literature review, then comes the methods, and when you get to the methods portion of it, you go down and what you're really looking for. Where is it? I saw it. I just saw it. Method. Where were the participants? That's the conclusion. Data collection, questionnaire development. Game tractors. Now, I just read this thing and I know I saw it. Where is it? Going too fast. Okay, see, like right here, fan identification is defined as, these are all real important things. And then you take Trail, Anderson, and Fink, 2000, okay? And then you got to go to the back of the paper and get Trail. Basically, I'm supposed to tell you that you're supposed to go to the internet and find this exact article. Yeah, really, in this day and age, that if this looks like something you really need to go into, go find it. If not, make sure you have the citation, because that'll burn you at the end of your paper. Okay, where was it? Schofield, Gladden, questionnaire development. Oh, there it is. It's in the results. It's in the wrong place. Okay. There were 278 people after deleting 13 surveys. So basically, I would report 250. You want to do two things: how many participants there were, and maybe a little bit about them. There's a lot of informations in here that it just wouldn't even do any good. Okay, so basically, there are 256 participants. They were soccer players. In this one, you'd have to go through it and decide what you really want to put in. I put a little bit about the thing, and then you want to go back here, and you want to talk about your questionnaire development. Okay, fan identification. Okay, you see, 2 attachment points of the point. Here's the name. Okay, and here again, there's another citation. So you want to talk about, not so much talk about it, but say this one, and then put the citation. Okay. And then put the citation in your notes. You don't have to put the citation in the bibliography. Okay. And then here's loyalty, and then and then you have 3 of them right here. Don't have to go into detail. You just want to tell what they are. Okay. So you're going to start this by giving a little bit of an intro sentence, talk about the purpose, talk about the participants, talk about the actual tests that were done. And then from there, you're going to go to your results. Okay. If you don't have, I don't know, most of you are not going to have a large statistical background. So a lot of this won't make any sense. So just as I did, I skipped over it, and you go to the conclusion, because that's where your results are. Now, another place to start with when you go to the results is go back to the top, and in your abstract, okay, they're usually, the tests that were run, spectators were grouped in 2, I would probably note this a little bit right here. Okay. And then here are the results. Results shows that group differences were only found in convenience attribute and loyalty towards there. However, no differences were found in the core and peripheral attributes. Okay. And then after you do that, so then you go back down here. So now you have, with the abstract, you have an idea. Now you go back down to the conclusion, okay? And you go through it. Now, this one's not the greatest, but right here, see? Not that top, just a little bit right here. So that's a conclusion. The nice thing is, when you see the words, the results showed, that's a conclusion.
That's just...
Yeah. This one, the purpose is really laid out, but generally when you go through another study, right before the methodology in the paragraph before, it's either going to say the study aimed, or the purpose of this study is there, or the hypotheses were this. You want to note those things because those are things that you'll want to come back to. So in the sentence, in the textbook, it says you need to talk about the authors. Keep it real short and sweet. It's not that important. It's probably for old times when before you had the chance of getting articles right in front of your face. In the old days, we didn't have the luxury of being able to go here. It took so long to do your papers, because if it wasn't in your regular library, you weren't getting it, or you had to send away for it and wait for it to be shipped to you. And that's where it's so different now. So right before the methodology is going to say the study aims, or it's going to tell you that the purpose of the study. Okay. So you can think about it, start out with an introductory sentence of what it is. Like, I can go back to the top, and I could keep it as simple as women's soccer spectators on game loyalty, attributes and loyalty. It's already in the thing, but you're going to put it into a nice sentence that you're going to be able to come back and be able to do a search and find spectators, and all your spectators are going to show up. Then you go down here, and then your next sentence should be something a little bit on the background. So you're using the introduction as your background. You'll find something in there to talk about. I'm not sure if there's a lot in this introduction here, but then your lit review, you might be able to talk after you skimmed it. But in this one, they go through the titles here that I talked about earlier when you're writing your own paper. Like, you can do a quick sentence on spectators in female sport, fan identification, game attributes. There's 3 sentences, okay, and loyalty. I wouldn't worry about the last one. If it was me, there's not enough information there to do anything with. But I would find definitions, maybe a definition for each of them.
Okay.
So that's like 4 sentences. So you got one, you got the first one, you got your purpose, you got the 3 or 4 sentences in there. Then you're going to talk about the three areas here, real quick, and it would start out with the questionnaires for this study, for the study. Okay, for the study were as follows: fan identification, utilize the pointed attachment index trail, Robinson, Dick, and Galentine. Okay, Galentine. Game attractors,
items.
Let's see. Used core product, star player, and winning record, peripheral. Keep it real short and sweet. Mm-hmm. You might even talk, just for that one, you might say 8 items in 3 dimensions, core product, peripheral, and convenience. Be done with it. Okay. Loyalty, measuring loyalty to the, and just, when I say you're just going to hit it and keep going. Okay. Data collection was, in your next line would be, data collection was done by Twitter, and that's it. Okay. Okay. And then you come back to your results, which you already have. The top is, and then, and sometimes just what you have in the abstract is enough. So when you're done, now you're done, except for one thing. How does this relate back to your study? Mm-hmm. So in this case, you could say that the participants were the most important part of this. There are very few. There's limited research in women's spectator and sport, and this will increase a different area of in terms of gender for my topic. Very straightforward. Just so when you went back, you knew exactly what it was, and it's done. So it's basically about maybe 8-9 lines. Mm-hmm. Okay. So when you get to this point, if you want to download, move our faces out of the way here. If you want to print it, it's over here. If you want to download it, you can download it. You can save the file or open it right in Adobe Acrobat. And I usually save the file into like an articles file. And then I just start separating them a little bit, So I get one on spectators. When it's time to put in, I put spectators. And I start throwing stuff in spectators. And then if I find I'm going a different keyword, I put the keyword in there and I throw it under that keyword. So it's easier for me to find. If you have an Apple, I use the keyword underneath it. Yeah. In there, and I put spectators.
Okay.
Underneath there, and every one of the spectators. That way, when I go in there, I click that. It'll bring up all my articles on spectators. Or all my articles on research design, or all my articles on this. It takes just a little bit longer, but your organization, it means it speeds everything up. Mm-hmm. So let me show you a finished one on this one. Okay.
Okay. So you put
the right one.
That's going to be the citation right there.
Oh, let's see. Word. And then we're going to go, I think it was document 5. Okay. So you see how everything's perfect here. Mm-hmm. Okay. You'll see that the first letter E is done, and then all lowercase. The journal is always italicized, and this is wrong. So only the volume is italicized.
Oh.
It's very weird. And then retrieved by, and either that or a DOI. But you see, it's 1 inch, half. Is that an inch or a half inch? That's a ½ inch in right here.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you see how simple this is?
Mm-hmm.
Just like bam, bam, bam. Okay. The study examined, okay, spectators, authors suggested while determining through the use of surveys, group by fan identification, okay. And I probably would have done a little bit more, just a little bit more here, just pointed toward what we were looking for. And then basically the authors noted majority of attendees. What's missing for here is what the result. I'm sorry. The results showed if the participants did not play, they weren't in. Okay, that was in there, but there's a little bit more to that.
Mm-hmm.
So 1 or 2 results is perfect, and then the last sentence here is the article is important to my research.
Yeah.
Okay, that kind of makes. Does that kind of make sense?
That makes much more sense. Yeah. I was thinking way too complicated.
Yes. Yeah, it's very short. So let me bring up one of my San Diego kids. Go here. San Diego still up. Cancel that. Nope. Let's go back here. Let's see who's got she can. Can you see that, or is it too small?
No, I can see that.
See, this is one article that she's broken down.
Okay.
It's about a page.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll see conducted a study on the impact. The purpose of the study is here, a little bit of the background, and then she went into the participants and then social functioning, and then she'll talk about the results. And then this is not an annotated bib, but then she has the reference at the back. Okay. So what you're really looking for to do is, when I read it, do I have to go find the article to figure out what you're talking about?
Mm-hmm. No.
If I do, then you didn't write a good one. If it's like, oh, I understand, boom, I'm good. You'll get your points automatically, because the bottom line is, if I was to pick up your annotated bibliography, I should be able to know what's going on in the article and why you're going to use it, and you're done. That could end up being 7-8 lines, or it could end up like a half a page, depending on the article. Okay, so half a page would be like 2 paragraphs. So when you get that article, now you understand how to get in the library, right?
Yes.
Okay, so basically, once you're in that library, keep doing it. Once you get in that library, where is it? You can go through these. So like ProQuest is for ebooks. Psych Articles is real good, and so is Psych Info. So if I go Psych Info and I go slow. Okay, enter the search term. Let's put sport spectators. Okay. So when you come in here, oops, where'd you go? I didn't want that. When you're in something like Psych Info, you see where it says peer reviewed?
Yeah.
Hit the peer reviewed, and I always hit full text, because then I'm not going through and finding a great article. Whoa. I don't like that. So let's say, I don't know about that one. How about that one?
Yeah, let's do that one. Origins.
So the question is it in the library?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't, all I see is the abstract.
Come here. Go lay down. No. It's not about you right now. Go lay down.
Okay, that's interesting. None of these have articles.
Oh.
Okay, I would stay in sport discus.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go back here. Maybe let's try psych articles. Yeah, here we go. So again, hit the peer review, because what that does is it takes out the newspaper articles, it takes out the magazines and all the other stuff that you don't find. You really don't want to go out anytime you're doing any paper in this program and pull anything just straight from a website.
Yeah.
Okay. When you're doing a huge paper, it can be an addition, but it, like, a lot of people gave me 3 articles that were from, sport.org. And it's like, that's just somebody throwing words out there. Could be valid, but not for what you're looking for. So, okay. So here's the abstract. I would look at okay, I really like it. Now I'm going to go to the full text. See where it says cite?
Yep. Cited by.
Now see, this citation is correct. So all I have to do is get this, copy it, and put it in there, and it should come out fine. So if I grab this and I go to the Word document, and I'm going to go here, let's make some space, and I put it in here. See how it says center. I don't want that. Okay, I want it. See how it comes out like this?
Mm-hmm.
All I do is put the cursor right here. See this little bottom arrow?
Mm-hmm.
I slide it over, and I'm done.
Okay.
Everything is where it's supposed to be. I don't have to do anything. When you go from like sport discus and that, you're gonna have to make some adjustments. But I posted some today to give you an outline of reference page. So what you just have to do is you got to just keep practicing how to do it, and then sooner or later it's just like, you'll know I need a space there and I need a period after the year, and you'll look at this and go, okay, that's right. See the colon, so then there's another thing. And then if it's a book title is what do you call it? Italicized. If it's a journal article, the journal article is done. So here, there's the journal article. This right here is the volume and the issue.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you'll just get a volume. Don't worry about it. There's no issue. There's no issue. And then the page range will be there. And then this is the DUI. So if I highlight this and I put it in my search engine, it should take me to the website that actually has that journal in it. Now, you don't want to do that because you might have to pay for it, but you've already got it from the library. So that's one thing, okay? And let's go back here. So I'm done with that, okay? And now I look at the full PDF text, or I download it. So let's say I'm going to download this bad boy. Come on, don't go so slow. You're going slow. So as you go and continue to do your papers, there are 2 types. I'm giving you the full lecture.
Okay.
So I'm going to send you this video so you can save it.
Mm-hmm.
There are 2 different kinds of research. There is research that you're going to find full papers like this one right here. And then there's nuggets. And nuggets are real important because when you get something that says, okay, you need 25 citations, well, that doesn't mean 25 journal articles. You can see all of the authors right here.
Yeah.
So when you're working on your topic, so let's say you're talking about spectators. So let's say that the word loyalty. okay, and those kind of words. As you find definitions, so let's say in that last article, there was a great definition on loyalty. And we get into this article, and there's another definition of loyalty that's pretty close. I don't have to keep reiterating that. I can put multiple names there that say the same. They don't have to say exactly the same thing, as long as they're on the same lines. So if they have there's a whole bunch of people that talk about spectators in the same way. You put the line about spectators and you put the 4 authors there. What it does is it shows your professor that you found more than just one person talking about. Makes you look really smart. It's the best thing. Mm-hmm. Oh, look, you found it here, 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 and here. Great. Keep moving. Okay. Let's see. Is there a definition? See, here's a great example right here. Mm-hmm. See, Burmester and Leary and Pratt both talked about this topic. So if you wanted to open up with something like this, mm-hmm. okay, you would put both of those authors there. Okay. The more that you support your statements, the better. Mm-hmm. But you don't want it to be where you're supporting all of your statements. Okay. You need to put you don't want to interject yourself. At the same time, your transitions are there, and the therefore statements, which are your concluding statements. Mm-hmm. And you bring in a thing, and then you put in a sentence, and you move on to the next one. Okay, I'm not going to get into paragraphs and everything. I'm not going to try and kill you in this one night. So you go this article right here. There's a lot of stuff in it. Now, is this a information or is it a study?
I think a study. Actually, information.
I would never touch this for an annotated bib.
Uh-huh.
I would not get rid of it, because this is where tons and tons of stories and nuggets and everything come from. I'm glad I found this for you. This is kind of what you had before. You want, when you're doing annotated bibliographies, you want to look for studies.
Okay.
Okay? Because this is not going to be 2 paragraphs. But how valuable is this? There are, let's go to the reference page.
So many people in here.
Yeah, there's so many references in here that you can go back. And this is the last thing I want to show you is this is where you get your next set of authors. Mm-hmm. Run through here and mark down which ones might have something on your topic. Yeah. And you start searching for them. So let's say I want to pick something local that might, like this one right here. All right, this is on fan identification. I copy, and then I go back to the library if I can find it. And let's go with psych articles to start with. Now, let's see. There's no advanced here. So, right here. I want to show you advanced search. Okay. So when you find an author or you find a journal or a title, find out where advanced search is. Now I've copied that in there, okay? And then you'll see this list here, and you'll see document title, okay? And then now we know what year it is, but we go here and we go search. Okay. Okay, it didn't have it. Okay, so then if I go back and I do Sport Discus, where is it? Sport Discus. Okay, so like when I go here, I didn't see it on the other one. Choose databases. See all the databases that are there? Oh. I can now hit all. and it'll tell you that it's going to take you a little time. I hit OK. Now, advanced search, put in the title, select the field, change it to title, and I hit search. No results found. So let's do, I play around a little bit, lose something. There it is.
It is.
There it is, and there is the PDF full text. So I go in here, and the first thing I do is I save my citation. I then pull up the article. Now you'll see here, look, group games, sports spectators, success, attitude, surveys. I get any one of them, it's going to change the direction, but you want to make sure that you're done with whatever you're doing. See, now here's the article. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you look at the abstract, you see the word experiment, or you'll see numbers like an F value or a T value, or anything, okay? Or you'll see the word interview. Either way, you're fine.
Okay.
The ones that you find that have just all those words, put that in a file and put important next to it, because those are real important. Because let's say you're going through and group cohesiveness comes up. Well, you know, in this other article, you've got it.
Yeah.
Then you got a whole section there which you can start to find different things. So let's go to the end of this one. And if we go to the end, now there's probably 40 or 50 more. Probably not that many on this one. No, it's a couple pages. Okay. But you'll be able to look through here and see if you can find anything that works. And that's the easiest way to start to build your library, especially in big page papers.
Just keep going, using what other people have already used.
That kind of makes sense now?
Yeah, definitely makes sense. A lot of sense.
Yeah, so I'm probably going to steal this one and put it in the room for next semester. Pretty concise.
Nice.
Pretty concise. But basically, that's how you do it. You keep it real short and concise.
Okay.
You don't have to go into any fluff about, I mean, there were 450 participants, 50 male, 50 female, and X number of female, X number of male, and they were from a Midwest town in Georgia, or they're from a Midwest town. I wouldn't go into any, sometimes it's going to give you a lot of demographic information about that. Just slide on by that.
Yeah. Okay.
That's something for when you actually have to come back and you're writing a big paper and you need to really focus in on that. And then as you're going through, you want to focus in on definitions and stuff like that. So if you find a definition, copy and paste that into a definition file. And then go in and copy and paste the citation in there. Okay. And what that does is as you're going through and you need to go back to definitions, or you need to talk about something, you find, those are the nuggets that you need, or great quotations. Doesn't mean you're going to use them all, but once you have that file built, when you go to write it, it's just little things that you can just add in there and add citations in that. Okay. Does that kind of make sense now?
Yes, definitely.
So much better than the book.
Yes. Yes, it is. Okay. Perfect.
All right. So do you mind if I use this video and put it in the room for everybody?
Yeah, please do.
Okay.
Please
All right. So I'll make sure that you get a copy of it for your file, if it'll send. If not, I will post it to YouTube and then put out a link for everybody, and that way you have it. And I think in the end, I think this will help you a lot.
Yeah.
Remember, keep it short and concise. A lot of times a paragraph is all you really need. But when you're done, you want to look back and skim over it and say, hey, I understand what this article is about.
Maybe even would it even be helpful to give it to someone else who doesn't know the article? Would you understand this article?
That's another way of doing it.
Okay.
So what I'll tell you is go ahead and rewrite one of them. Okay. And I'm leaving town tomorrow.
Okay.
But what you would do is go ahead and email it to me, the document, so then I can look at the citation.
Okay.
And I'll edit the citation and send it back to you as soon as my computer's open. But take the body of it and put it right into the body of the email.
Okay. Okay.
That way, if I'm on the plane and I have Wi-Fi and it comes out on my phone, I can look at it and say, that's good. I can't do the citation, but I can do that. Yeah. So right, and then basically whoever's listening is put it in the body of the message, the email message. That way I can do that. And if there's something wrong, I can say, okay, I'm going to send you back. I can copy and paste that into a Word document, open the computer and send back any edits. Or I'm going to tell you, hey man, you're on it. Just keep going. And basically this is for everybody. If you want to redo all of yours to get a better grade, do the next one. The last one is this week, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. Redo the whole thing. But make sure you put a note in there for me or email me saying I want them all regraded, and I will up the grades.
Okay.
I think that's the fairest way. So, and while I have you and everybody else is going to get this, don't forget to do your evaluations. Like I always say, be kind, please rewind, but hopefully this will help everybody. And those of you that actually spend the time to watch it, this will help you in your other classes. The big thing is learn how to do the in-text citations and learn how, because that's the easiest way to lose points. Learn how to do the in-text citations. Get a good citation manager like Mendeley. And there's another one that I pay for. It's called Grammarly.
Oh, Grammarly.
And Grammarly is probably the best, spell checker in the world. So let me, since this will be one of the last videos you guys get from me, let me bring up Grammarly. So let me bring up that document again. If you have a Windows document, it's better than the Mac. Mac's okay. You got to do this. But like for my discussion boards, for you guys and the stuff I send out, it's inside the discussion board. So the spell check happens as we go along. So like in that box, it'll tell me how many errors I have. I press a button, it takes me out. It shows me my mistakes, and then it puts it right back in to the document. So I don't have very many spelling errors. So like this is actually the one on the internet. So now it will go through and it will check everything and see the errors. Mm-hmm. So like it tells me right here, repetitive words. So I can go back and read this. Determine the of the core. So it changes it. Okay. We're grouped by, let's see, where's the team? Done by a team. I can change it to also or in addition. The participants is wrong. The game, society with a comma. And then that's pretty much it. And then all I have to do is in your discussion board, there's a button in there, and it'll be like right about here, and you just click it and it puts it right back all corrected in your discussion board. So Grammarly is a really cool one to have. It's really good for your papers and everything. The only problem is it does not take your paper, mm-hmm. and it takes away the formatting of the paper.
Okay.
So it's kind of like you want to keep your formatting, then you've got to you figure out how you want to do it, or put it back in and then just reformat the paper, which in some ways is a lot easier because you're not going to have very many spelling errors. Sure. All right.
Perfect.
How's that work? Any more questions?
No more questions.
Yeah. So if anybody that wants to resubmit, you just got to let me know that you're resubmitting all of them with scholarly, peer-reviewed journal articles using this format, and you'll be perfect.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. I'm glad you came on, and I'm glad hopefully this helps.
It did, massively.
All right. So go ahead and do your first one. Send it to me. And then after that, you just keep going. It becomes a lot faster.
Okay. I can do that.
Awesome. All right. Have a good night.
You too.
All right.